Okay, Ciara, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for asking.
Let's start with just a little bit of your background. Just want to know, who is Ciara when you're not in the drum set?
When I'm not drumming,
Yeah.
I'm a mum. I have two little girls, 7 years and nearly 5. That takes up a lot of time, which is lovely. But what else? I really, keeping fit is important to me. Being outside. I really love Michael Jackson. So I listen to a lot of his music, and I really like space, like UFOs, all of that stuff.
Oh, really? I didn't
Yeah.
expect it.
Yeah, so often I'll be watching like a UFO documentary in bed, and my husband will be like, "What are you doing? You're gonna get nightmares about all
What an
this."
influence for a kid.
I know. They haven't asked me about aliens yet,
Okay.
but when they do.
Cool. And where are you based now?
I'm in Essex in the UK, so
Okay.
it's about, put it this way, I can get to London in about 20 minutes on the train.
Oh,
So it's pretty good. It's
okay.
like in the country, lots of nice woods and things around here. But it's in a place that I can get into London if I need to. So yeah, I feel really lucky to be here, and I have really nice neighbors, so they don't complain about the drums. So it's good. Whereabouts are you?
I'm in Valencia. No. in Spain.
Ah,
Yeah.
nice. I've never been there. I would like to go.
Really? You
Yeah.
should. It's an amazing city. Yeah.
I've heard good
Amazing
things.
city. And really great musicians too. There's a nice music environment. Berkeley is here, the
Oh,
university.
cool.
Yeah, the college. And so this helps. And also there's a strong tradition of local bands, of traditional Spanish local bands here. And so, yeah, it's a very musical city.
Cool.
Should come.
I will.
All right. And who is Ciara drumming? What are you doing? Tell us a little bit of your history and yeah. And then we get specifics. I want to know what you're practicing this week, for example.
Oh, okay. Well, I started drumming when I was 16. I wanted to play before then, but I mean, I think my parents were just not sure about that with volume. And I'm a triplet, so I have 2 sisters, and so it didn't seem like doable. But when I was 16, I met someone. It's so random how life is, isn't it? I met someone who was drumming. He had a drum kit, ended up buying his drum kit, and then having lessons with his teacher. It's crazy. And then that went really well. It's often the case, I think, where if you really want to do something and you're not able to for a while, and then you finally get to do it, you just go all in. And so that's what I did. And that was it. I was like, I have to drum now. This is it. So I had private lessons for about, I don't know, 3 years, maybe 3-4 years. And then I went to music college and managed to go to LA, like an exchange with the LA Music Academy, and that was really incredible. And that's just set me off. I've always been in bands, always done some touring stuff, recording, teaching. And what I really enjoy now is helping people drum. Like you were saying before we started recording about just getting people drumming. That's where I'm at too, it's so much deeper than just drums now. It's like true purpose, helping people do the thing they didn't think they could do, which is really lovely. That's kind of it. Yeah, I really like odd time signatures. So that's what I play a lot. I really like trying to make things groove and sound nice. And whatever way I can help other people and help others to believe in themselves, I'm there.
Nice that you had this opportunity of dedicating your whole professional life to drumming. This is not something very common among many musicians, right? Because sometimes you need to do so many different things to live out of music, because you can't. So you do a bunch of things. So it's a really, really nice privilege that you could dedicate your life to music. That's amazing.
Yeah, It's been a journey. It hasn't always been that way, you know.
Huh?
I've had so many jobs, like,
Okay.
yeah, making coffee,
Okay.
so many clothes shops.
Okay, got
You
it.
know, I've done all of the jobs, all of them. Picture editing,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, video editing. I've done loads of jobs, but then drumming has always been the consistent thread through all of it. I've always just done that and another job, or this and then something else. And it was only really since I've had kids that I could really dedicate and figure it out. And I don't know, maybe it gave me more focus in a sense. Just like, okay, how can I actually do this? So yeah, I think it's not easy to to have a career in music, but there is definitely ways to do it, and it doesn't have to be, oh, I'm on tour. It can be, you can make it how you want it, I think.
Yeah, I guess that's something new. That's something from the last 15 years. Before that, you had to play, right?
Yes,
No other way.
exactly,
That's cool.
exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah, like what you're doing, you know. You're
Yeah,
doing a lot of
yeah.
the stuff I'm talking about. It's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, sure, yeah, cool. And what have you been practicing lately? Do you have time to practice, by the way, as a mom and a teacher?
I don't have that much time. So two things. I was just trying to do this pattern. So I've got two hi-hats. So I was trying to do this pattern of 3 16th notes, like 1 E and 2 E and 3 E, like that, and then play over the top of it, and that'd be really fluid, and also use my left foot on the hi-hat as well some way. I'm really into just groupings at the moment. So, you know, if I can play a group of 5 as triplets around the kit, I really like doing that. And I'm working on, I guess, independence, because I want to keep my hi-hat going the whole time and just be able to do that, which I can't do yet. So I dip in and out of that. And then, when was it? Yesterday, this guy came for a lesson, and he only comes like, I don't know, every month, maybe every 2 months. It's here and there. And I thought, oh no, he's coming, because he booked it last minute. And the song he wants to do is by Sleep Token. You know Sleep Token? So I just thought, let's get the music out. And that is what I was practicing yesterday before he came.
Oh, cool.
It's, I don't know, it's something else, some of those drumming parts. And then to play it was one thing, but then to teach it, you know. So that's what I was practicing yesterday.
That's fun.
It was actually really fun.
Do you usually, when you think, oh, I want to practice something, or do you have a schedule, like a weekly schedule, every day, a little bit?
I don't know. I used to be really diligent and just do it every morning. But no, I've actually backed off a bit, and I'm just trying to go with the flow a bit more, because, you know, with having the kids, they're my priority. So I've got to work it around them. So I don't have a schedule. I think I might do in the future when they're a bit older. But right now I'm just like, no, I'm just fitted in here and there. And that's working.
It makes sense. What would you suggest for someone that wants to keep their development going? What worked for you when you had your more time? What would you suggest for someone to keep developing?
Yeah, so that's a good question, because I think a lot of people do struggle with it, and I think people can go down that rabbit hole of, oh, I don't have time, or it becomes this massive elephant in the room, like, oh, I haven't practiced. So I think firstly, get rid of that, be kind to yourself, and just go, it's okay, you're a good person, get a grip. We got this.
You're a good person.
It's okay. The world is not going to fall apart because you didn't practice. But hold yourself accountable. Like, tell your partner, tell your friends, and then schedule it in. Put it in your phone, you know, every morning, or whenever you think realistically, I can do that. After you've had your dinner or at lunchtime, put it in your diary so you can see it. I think just make it easy for yourself in that sense. Scheduling, making sure everyone else knows that this is my practice time. I think that can really help, because otherwise, yeah, you can just get bogged down with the fact you're not. You just need to take action. Just go do it. You don't need a plan, just go.
Cool. Now that we're talking a little about education and giving some tips, you know that more than 70% of the people that starts drumming, they give up in less than 12 months. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Like you go from the dream and the motivation of I want to play this thing to the frustration of it's not for me, right? That's 70%. And it's not actually, it's average in music. It's not that drums is worse. Even actually drum is a bit better because the initial investment is higher, right? Because you have to commit with, I don't know, buying a drum set or whatever. So this makes you stick a little bit more because you did it. But anyway, it's still 70%. How can we fight against it?
I have a question about that. Do you think that is just the last few years, or is that a statistic from a long time? Because it feels like, I don't want to be blamey, but it feels like with YouTube, social media, it can accelerate this feeling of, I need to be able to do it now. And there's no real reference about what it's actually like learning, like the actual process.
Yeah.
And I think it's giving a completely unrealistic view. And so I feel like that's probably the contributing factor. There's too many sources and there's too many videos of amazing drummers. And then you're comparing yourself to those amazing drummers and you've only played for like a month.
Yeah.
It's just not what you should be doing. I think there needs to be a real, I don't know, education. There's a responsibility for us teachers, I guess, to just say, hey, don't be watching too many videos. I'm your teacher. I'm going to guide you. Don't try not to compare yourself. I just think that kills it. Don't you think so?
I completely agree. And actually this metric is getting worse.
Oh,
so, yeah. I think there's in music brings two challenges when you teach. One is the skill, right? The music skill, and the other is patience, accepting your failures, right? Accepting that it's not easy and you have to deal with it. Accepting frustration. You're not going to get this song first time, and it's fine. Just keep going and keep going. Like this resilience is something that I guess we're getting worse because everything's so nice and so dopamine is so easy. So why am I going to be suffering, right? Yeah.
Completely.
But that's the way we're going. So it's hard to block it. Like humanity is going in that direction, if we like it or not. So how can we talk this language, because now if I tell a student, no, forget about YouTube, forget about all these things, just listen to me and you're gonna take 2 years to play whatever you want, it's not gonna work. So how can we approach this new idea? Do you have any thoughts about it?
I always try and ask them questions to bring them into the moment and the actual reality of where they're at. So I will say, well, hold on. If they're struggling with a thing, I'll say, well, wait a minute. Did you know how to play this last week? And they'll say, no.
Yeah,
I'm like, well, there you go. Like, just stop. Why are you thinking you should have it already? You don't. It's a new thing. So I always try and do that and shock them and say, have you done this before? No. Or I'll say, well, how long have I been playing? I've been playing, I don't know, 24, 25 years. How long have you been playing? A year. Well, there you go. It's not going to be the same. Please just remember that. I always just try and remind them all the time. I do say as well, don't watch too many videos. But I mean, people can't help it. As you said, they're just going to do it. But I always just say, well, hang on. Also, what you're seeing is that person has been playing for X amount of years and they've been practicing that thing. This is just a glimpse. Their drums are beautifully recorded, probably. So this is not reality. Where you're at right now, this is reality.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's helping or...
Well, probably you see students sticking more with it, right? when you have this approach.
Yeah. And most of them do feel better about themselves when I say, well, did you know this last week? No, I've just given you this music. It's okay. And I'll also give so many examples of my failures and just say, you know, I fail all the time. Here's one time. Let me tell you about this time that it all went wrong, or I couldn't get my double strokes for ages and I was the worst in the class. And I felt really bad, but you just keep going. You don't stop.
Yeah. Yeah. So there is a change in the role of the teacher, since all the content is out there, right? Like they can learn by themselves. So like content is available.
Yeah.
What is not available? What is the role of the teacher?
I feel like maybe we are more to explain and answer questions that they may have about the video, because obviously you can't speak to the video.
Mhm.
They're not going to talk back. But maybe it is more like of a coach position. I definitely find
Okay.
myself in that. I am listening a lot more and trying to offer encouragement and empower my students and inspire them. It's more like I feel like can be a self-belief, and to go through, explain the process to them, and also try and really impart what it means to practice and figure out, well, how are they learning as well? And teach them that too, because if they know how they can learn best, then that's going to be really beneficial. Yeah, and also just try and help them to practice better too, I think, because these videos will not do that. But a lot of it, I think, is just reassuring, confidence building. Because after watching some of these videos, they're like, well, I can't do it at full speed. I can't do it. And then they're just looking at their drums like, I hate you. And, you know, I feel like I'm there to just be their cheerleader. And I'm happy to do that too. You know, I wish I had that, you know.
Yeah, it's dealing with the frustration, right? You're helping them to deal with this frustration, and then they can do it. Yeah, that's cool. So you organized a drum camp, right?
Yes.
Tell us more about it.
Well, credit is to a lady called Karen Wolf. She lives in California. She's an amazing drummer. And I had her on a podcast I was doing, and she mentioned she was running women's drum camps. And since that phone call, I was obsessed. I just thought, what? I need to do this. And I thought, are there any in the UK? And I looked it up and there was nothing. And it's been like this burning thing that I had to do. And it was so scary, like putting it out there and figuring out a venue, tickets, all of it. It was so terrifying, but the best thing I've ever done, because I don't know. Yeah, it's just given me a whole new purpose, and a community has started to build. And now some of the ladies are like, they're actually friends. They go out to gigs together, and it's become like a lovely project that I do throughout the year. And it's great. My intention is to just get more women drumming. I've done mixed camps and I will do more of them. But to be honest, there's been such a demand for women only camps that I'm running with it because it's just such a nice vibe. It's like a women together, cheering each other on, overcoming stuff. It's like more than drums, you know. The drumming is there. Of course, that's what we do. I'm really intentional that I cover loads of stuff. That's really important. But it's more about doing the hard things and doing what you didn't think you could do, and doing it for yourself, taking time for yourself, especially if you're a mum. Sometimes you don't have that time, or it just gets sucked away, right? So a lot of these women come and they're like, oh, I never have a weekend to myself, and I never have a weekend to just drum with other women. So yeah, it's just been such a gift.
We gotta bring this to Spain.
Wow.
Why not?
Actually, I'm thinking about doing a retreat.
Uh-huh.
And there's a place in Barcelona which looks amazing. But to be honest, anywhere warm, I'm there. Why not, right?
Yeah.
Drumming, sunshine.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. We can organize something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm there.
because we have a huge community. Drumap has more than 200,000 people in the community, so we can give them this value too, right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of people in Spain too, so
All
let's make
right.
it.
Let's chat. Let's chat about that.
For sure. You also have a strong presence in social media, creating a lot of content. You had your podcasts. How did you do so many? It's like you're a mom, you practice, you have a bunch of students, you organize drum camps, you have social media. How do you do all this?
I don't. I feel like I'm juggling. Sometimes I'll do one thing well, and then sometimes I'll will not do one thing well. Like with the podcasts, I'm not doing any podcasts right now
What happened there?
because it's so tough, isn't it? It's so tough. The first one I did was Drum Education Live, and that was amazing. We did that in lockdown. And honestly, the drummers we spoke to blew my mind. They were just so nice. I put some drummers on a pedestal, right? And then when you actually get to speak to that drummer and they're really nice, it's so lovely. So that was a really great project. But it got to a point where things started to open up after lockdown. So I just got busier and busier, and I found it really difficult to put the time into it that I felt it deserved, because I always wanted to do my research, make sure I knew a bit about the drummer, and I just wasn't getting that time. And it also felt like we'd gone like this, we spoke to some amazing drummers, and then it just maybe had reached the end naturally as well. And so that came to an end, but we're still all friends, it's all good. And then I was doing a podcast with my friend Gemma. She works for Gaver, and she was editor of Drummer magazine, and she's just an amazing kick-ass woman. So we did a podcast called Drummer Mamas together, and that was cool. And I still need to put out there season 2, so this is all on me. But I'm just taking a little break because I've got loads of stuff going on, so I want to make some space for that, and then when it's ready it will be out. But it's a lot, right? I mean, you know,
too much. It's too much. Yeah, it's incredible how us as musicians and like we do so much. We are real entrepreneurs. Now I live more among entrepreneurs, building startups and technology and all that. And I say, guys, you have no idea how is it to be a real entrepreneur and having to deal with so many different stuff at the same time, and and investing and taking risks, and so incredible. And what's your approach on social media? Like, what's your goal there?
For a while, I was all about value. I still am, but I was very much like, here's a little lesson on this. But that's difficult to maintain. And also in terms of like recording, getting all of the stuff out, pressing record, making sure it sounds good. It takes a lot of time. So now I try and deliver value, but I do try and do it just by talking and explaining some stuff. But I guess my intention now is just to be a bit more focused in who I'm talking to, because I want to make sure I'm helping the right people. I'm not going to be the person you're going to follow if you want to just see loads of amazing drum chops. Maybe if you want a bit of help and guidance or confidence or encouragement, then you can follow me, or some odd times. So I'm just trying to make sure that I'm always delivering that kind of message. So I guess I've narrowed what I deliver and what I talk about, and make sure it's not too broad.
Do you see this paying back? Like, besides just the pleasure of sharing, do you see the paying back, like your community bringing also things to you, and how do you see it?
Yeah, it's funny. I think maybe a year ago or maybe 18 months ago, I looked at my followers, and They were mostly men, and I thought, okay, that's fine. I have loads of great friends who are guys on Instagram, honestly. But I thought, this is why no one's seeing my drum camps. And now I have a lot more women following me, which is cool, because then they're like, oh my goodness, you do drum camps for women, let me come on board. Or if I talk about being a mum, then it really resonates, whereas a guy might not, but he might switch off and go, I don't really care. So it definitely has paid off in that way.
It's bad to say it, but it's usually a male instrument, drums.
Yeah.
It's hard to find woman drumming, right?
Well, yeah, that's it. It's a funny, I think we're in a funny place with it at the moment.
Yeah.
It's I hear both. I hear everything. I hear, you know, why are you doing women only drum camps? You're sexist. And then I hear, oh, thank God you're doing it. This is great. Or you just can't please everyone. And I think there's room here for all of it. You know,
they will have around 12% of all the users in our apps are women. Only 12.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, and I tried to boost it and reducing prices and doing ads and stuff for women, but it doesn't grow. Maybe because this is the market. Maybe 12% of the women's, like 12% of the drummers are. I don't know what's the real.
That'd be interesting to know.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know.
Yeah,
I know
you might be doing great.
Yeah, there's around 21 million drummers out there. I could find this data. I don't know how many are women.
Okay, we should find out.
Yeah, but if it's 12%, then there are a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to get to them. So
I know.
it'll be around 2 million. Yeah.
Woo!
Okay, that's your audience.
Come on, girls. Let's do it.
Nice. Ciara, thanks for this talk. It was amazing. Getting to know a little bit more of you, and let's keep talking and organize some drum camps in Spain.
Yay! Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate your time.